The two quarterbacks last night were spectacular. The Caleb Williams throw to Colston Loveland, it happened so fast. It was so abrupt. I don't think that it was appreciated.
I agree with you.
By the world the way it should have been. That was 47 yards on a line.
Right.
And it got there.
Right.
You know, there was the play a couple of weeks ago, the sprint right option.
This was the first amazing one. Flat-footed 52-yard post over the top, and then here's your laser.
That one's incredible.
Right.
We did the thing with the comparison side by side to the catch, and you made the point. Joe Montana was on the 11, Caleb Williams was on the 29.
Right.
And it reminded me of that because the ball just gets there.
It gets there so easy.
It gets there.
Right.
It doesn't lose any velocity or gravity. It just gets there. Incredible force that he puts on the ball.
It really is. It's a special arm. It's an arm that can rival the greats in the sport, of the all-time greats. That's what it is. And that's where you heard me say, and I'll continue to say it. You give me one pick out of any of those quarterbacks in that draft still, I'm still taking Caleb Williams. Because you see, when he makes the plays in the pocket that he's supposed to, and he's still not perfect in that department. I thought Chris Collinsworth did an incredible job, right? You've heard me say it. He misses too many throws. He's too talented to miss some of the throws he misses, right? And he missed 3 or 4 in the game last night where you went, man, what? How could you make those last 5 or 6 throws that were that high level and then miss a wide open guy on the sideline? Like, how can that happen, right? But at the same time, we're seeing the growth and the maturation of the player, and we saw last night where they had to put it on him because their run game wasn't dominating like it usually does. And here's another game, and we've seen maybe 3 or 4 out of the last 5 or 6 where you go, man, Caleb Williams is starting to get it in the pocket. And we know he could color outside the lines and do all the backyard plays and make Josh Allen Mahomes plays and make magic happen. But now when he's standing in the pocket and comfortable and finding the right spot to throw the ball and putting the ball on the money that way, I mean, you know, to your point, Mike, it's eye-popping at times. It's eye-popping. And I know Devin McCourty, who's been around a lot of great quarterbacks, and Jason Garrett the same way. They feel the same way when you watch him. So, you know, in some ways they lost last night, but that was somewhat of a coming-out party, I think, for Caleb Williams in front of the whole country to go, like, yeah, watch out for me. And they're going to be fun to watch in the playoffs, of course, because of that offense and what he does.
Chris made the point after the game, I believe, about how even though they lost, they won more respect.
I would agree.
This is no longer fluky.
Right.
This is no longer lucky. This is a team that is here to stay. Mm-hmm. And that's the most encouraging thing. In year 1 of the Ben Johnson-Caleb Williams partnership, there are reasons to be optimistic about where it goes from here.
Right.
That however this season plays out is just gravy. They've laid the foundation to have a very potent offense for years to come. And it just dawned on me. Caleb Williams had 3,400 passing yards entering the night. He needed to average 300 over the final 2 games to become the first 4,000-yard passer. And he didn't have more than 298 all year.
Right.
He had his season high 330 last night, so he needs 270. And you know, that week 18, who's going to start, who's going to rest.
Right.
I mean, they're still jockeying, right? They're jockeying for playoff positioning. Right. They play the Lions at home. Ben Johnson may want to have something to say about the 52-21 blowout in week 2 that the Bears suffered in Detroit. But Caleb Williams, 270 yards away from becoming the first 4,000-yard passer in franchise history, which is just laughable. It's hard to keep a straight face when you say that. They've never had a 4,000-yard passer. And Caleb Williams last night, he'll get one of those.
Yeah, he's going to get one of these
later.
years. That's right.
Yeah, they got bigger prizes than getting to 4,000 yards, but it may happen. And they just have a different vibe to them now.
Yeah.
And it happened quickly, but it helps. When you've got a great coach and you've got Caleb Williams, it just lifts the whole team, and we saw it last night. And, yeah, look, I always like to be right in my picks, but, man, it's just it was exciting. And near the end, I'm like, man, can they pull this off? Can they take the lead?
Right.
And will the 49ers have a few seconds to try to get a field goal to tie it up? And then are we going to get overtime?
It was one of those games where it almost, it didn't feel like you rooted for anyone. You were just like, this is amazing, and who's going to make the next great play? That's kind of how it felt. And to what you were saying about the Chicago Bears, they're playing with house money, I think is what you're saying, because they're ahead of schedule. To be like this, to what the quarterback's doing, the foundation Ben Johnson has laid, and then what I would tell you this too, because I've watched Ben Johnson closely. You know me, I'm Ron Jaworski. I watch the film, right? I would bet you 50% of his offense is in right now. I don't even think his full offense is in. So just think about that. And then think about the potential of where the offense has to go. And then, of course, the quarterback has still so much room to grow and become better. So they're going to be dangerous there. And then a little bit like we talked about with the 49ers, if you ask Johnny on the street, right, about the Chicago Bears, most people can't name very many people on their defensive side of the ball either. It's a similar conversation. And this will be the year they'll be able to spend some money this offseason on the defensive side of the ball. And, yeah, it looks like the Bears are going to be here to stay for a long, long time. But regardless, last night they showed that, yeah, they're battle-tested to go into San Francisco, play that way, have it all be on Caleb Williams' shoulders, him deliver like he did. And some of the throws he made. And can we show those highlights, those 2 touchdown passes, or that little package we had of Caleb Williams again, too? Because, I like you talked about, his arm is so explosive, and he does it so easy. This is the 45-yard line, flat-footed, and it goes 5 yards into the end zone. This one, TV doesn't do it justice, and you're right. You almost need to see it live. These are the throws he's got to continue to get better with. The little, touch passes along the sidelines and stuff like that, and then the scrambling you see, his ability to make those throws, and that right there was an absolute piss missile to go along with it. They're going to have some swag going in the playoffs regardless, because with him playing like that and the young receivers, and Odunze gets back, and DJ Moore won't be sick and ill like he was last night, all of that, that's where they're going to be scary. But for both of these teams, the defense is going to be a big issue.
2 observations in response to what you just said. First of all, they've got one more year after this one of Caleb Williams' slotted rookie deal. Even though he's the first overall pick, it is nothing close to what a market-level franchise quarterback is going to make. Right. So next year's a year to spend, because they can't pay Caleb Williams until after the 2026 regular season ends. Second, here's the only problem with being on house money this year and having such a great season this year. The bar for next year.
It's going to be up there.
Is going to be really high. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.